A surprise team could shake up the NBA in a way that you might not think. The Brooklyn Nets could shake up the NBA this trade deadline, as they've already made 2 trades and they could potentially make a lot more. They've already traded Dennis Schroeder to the Warriors for some second-round picks, which he will be a great backup for Steph Curry and has been playing great. Then you have the D'Angelo Russell trade. They traded for D'Angelo Russell in exchange for Dorian Finney-Smith, who's a great wing, shooting a career 3-point percentage, which would be great. That's what the Lakers need. And getting back to D'Angelo Russell, who's someone who can't be moved at the deadline anymore just due to trade rules, but he could be moved in the offseason, or maybe he could play well for this Nets team. But the Nets still have more pieces. They have Cam Johnson, who I think is probably the most intriguing. He's on a 3-year, I believe, $70 million deal, and the Nets don't really have a great reason to keep him. He's only about 27, which isn't old. It doesn't really fit their timeline, but he could stay there another couple years. He's playing pretty well, and about 19 points per game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. So he would be a great addition to a team like the Nuggets, who might be targeting him in exchange for maybe Aaron Gordon, because he stretches the floor a little better, maybe Michael Porter Jr. So Cam Johnson is interesting. Then you have Nick Claxton, who I made a video a while back about how the Grizzlies should go for him, and I still think that would be a great fit. They could use a better center. Right now they have guys like Jay Huff, and Jay Huff actually has been playing pretty well. He stretches the floor, but I just don't trust him in the playoffs, and if the Grizzlies want to make a deep playoff run, it will help having a guy like Nick Claxton, who's defensive menace, and like you have John Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson. I think it's okay to have one player that doesn't stretch the floor. The other player, they have Cam Thomas. I doubt he's available, but with the right offer, anyone's available on the Nets, likely. And Cam Thomas is great. He's about 24 points per game, which is really good. But I think they're more empty calorie stats. He's not the best defender, but that's kind of like, that's a great role player to have on your playoff team. He scores, he doesn't play a lot of defense, but most teams have a player that's not great on offense that you can just put Cam Thomas on. So is he like a better fit than some of the other stars that are available? I don't know. Maybe you'd rather go for Zach LaVine, but the contract is so much more for Zach LaVine, so that's why Cam Thomas would be interesting, because he has a small contract right now. But I doubt he's available. With the right offer, I'm sure he would be, because I think the Nets realize that he's probably not going to be a superstar. He can probably be an all-star, but just based on his defense and size, he probably won't be that amazing. But then again, there are guys like Trae Young who are pretty dang good. Then there's Ben Simmons. He's on a 1-year deal, so it's like he could get moved finally, but really the teams that would get him are maybe a team that's just desperate to make a change. Like maybe the Sacramento Kings trade like DeMar DeRozan and some second-round picks to salary dump him because things aren't working out. Maybe the Kings decide to tank. They fired Mike Brown, basically, which is a very interesting decision I don't agree with, but the Kings could maybe, I still don't love it. I don't think the Kings should tank. I think they should just scramble up their roster, because I think Domantas Sabonis is good enough to make a team a good playoff team. And then the last player is Bojan Bogdanovic. Definitely won't be a huge needle mover, but he was good for Detroit, got injured in the playoffs with the Knicks, and he's kind of been injured. He's a lot older now than when he was with the Jazz, where he was pretty good for the Jazz, but he does have a it's a 1 year 19 million, which isn't huge, but if there was a team that could maybe just pick him up, it wouldn't be bad. I think most likely though he gets traded to a team like the Wizards and just gets bought out. But anyways, that's how the Nets could actually make a pretty big difference for the NBA, but they've made some interesting moves and we'll see what happens. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and see you next time on No Bias.